Now that we've established the foundation for how we move and show up in this world, in this section, we are going more in depth of the importance of being true to yourself, being the authentic you, not allowing outsiders or even society to influence who we are. We have to start governing ourselves and stop allowing the government or other outside entities to govern our lives for us. In this section, you will gain insight on the importance of embracing your individuality to formulate true happiness and purpose in this world by understanding who you currently are. Remember, individuality is all of the qualities and characteristics which makes a person unique and separate from other people. This individuality is valuable and essential to the world because it focuses on our own ethical pursuits. Most people get so overwhelmed with all the other people in the world that we begin to make ourselves feel small and limit ourselves due to the beliefs that I am only one person. But being aware and conscious of your individuality is the most powerful ability one can have. It is because of your thoughts, qualities, opinions, standards, beliefs, goals, desires, and rights in this world that true change can be made. All it takes is a belief in yourself that you can accomplish a thing or create a thing and understand that it will be done and the whole world will soon benefit from it. Trying to hide or change who we are to fit someone else's narrative just lessens our sense of self-worth, causing our self-esteem and insecurity to rise. Never allow society to determine how you should carry or possess your individual power. That power is only meant for the one who carries it. Embracing your individuality is not only beneficial for the world, but it is essential for personal happiness. When you are able to be the authentic you and not trying to please others, this brings upon a sense of freedom in your life. Freedom refers to the ability to make decisions and act without any form of interference. Freedom comes with the dynamics to change your choices and activities at any given time. It is because if you are free to do a thing, you should also be free to reverse it or do something else. The ideas of individualism and freedom are related. Individualism is the responsibility of an individual to think and act as they desire. Freedom implies a situation where there are no constraints for them to do so. It is much easier to embody such individual freedom when we are alone. But when we are in group settings, it becomes a bit of a tug of war in thinking freely for yourself or acting in accordance to what society says we should be acting like. Unfortunately, society encourages all to look and act a certain way, and anything that even vaguely goes against those societal norms is often challenged or ridiculed. This can make it hard to stay true to yourself, but if you're not, your happiness will suffer. That's why mental health is a struggle right now for a lot of people because of the struggles and pressure placed upon them by society and those around them. Sometimes conforming to societal standards tend to go against our moral compass, which leads to inner anguish, fear, and sadness. Conformity involves recognizing the patterns or beliefs of a group or society and trying to behave in that same manner. So you begin to act in accordance with that group's attitudes and behaviors. So, if society tells you that a certain group of people is less than and should be treated harshly, you begin to agree with what society says, although your ethical being knows that it is unfair and unjust. There are certain situations in which conforming with society makes sense. For example, conforming with local traffic procedures is probably desirable. But most of the time, the attitudes and behaviors of the masses are not in alignment with what we believe as an individual, and it goes against our ethical behavior, mainly because the masses are not driven by ethics and virtues, but instead power and control. Individualism is essential for the personal development of each individual, which in turn leads to economic benefits for society. According to the concepts of individualism, each person is essential, and society should reflect this value for each individual in its systems and activities. We have to shy away from focusing on the collective interests of all members of society and focus more on individuals. This way, it liberates individuals from the endless shackles of societal restrictions that impede upon originality and flexibility of each person. Individuals should be free from conforming to societal norms and expectations, especially when it goes against their moral beliefs. We tend to see this often mainly in the Black community, where expressing our true selves is seen absurd until others in different communities begin to do the same thing. Wearing our natural hair is still a problem at certain jobs, or even dressing in a way that feels comfortable to us. There are still some churches that require you to dress a certain way before entering the building, keeping certain individuals away. This all focuses on collective interests instead of individual interests. When we focus more on individual interests, social evolution is possible because the ethical individual will bring to society capacities for service, sympathy, and fellowship. This is done through the development of their interactions with society, but it does not come from society. As an individual gives themselves to society, should never lose their individuality, but instead remain true to who they are and what they were created to do. This type of capacity comes about from the pure essence of the individual. With each individual being unique and distinct, we are called to have a certain awareness within ourselves to accomplish certain assignments here on earth. These assignments are higher than the government or even those around us would understand. Only we know what we are set out here to do, but there is a level of consciousness within ourselves that needs to be tapped into to figure it out. Having this level of consciousness carries the individual beyond the limits of their current mode of existence and into alignment with their higher self to accomplish their soul's mission. Society tends to look at man as a product, but it is the man who brings originality and produces power in society. That's why it's important to preserve your freedom and ethical values, because it allows you to stay in alignment with who you are when giving yourself to the world. When you follow your own ethical values, you do not look to man or anyone else to validate your choices, because you made your choices using your own moral consciousness. This is what makes you unique in your own way, and no one can take that away from you. But when we lack consciousness and make decisions based on others' opinions or allow others to influence our lives, this causes pain and sadness and lack of self-identity. You, in a sense, give your power away to entities that does not know what is best for you. It is only you who knows what is best for you. You will eventually become unhappy and lost in yourself, unsure what to believe. With allowing others to interfere in your life, it causes harm to your individuality and freedom. Nothing will compensate for that loss of freedom and individuality, in which ultimately makes you you. Many are unsure what they can bring to the world or how exactly they fit in. Understand it is a journey, so please do not beat yourself up. We have to have awareness of who we are at this moment and understand what our strengths and weaknesses are. So for our next activity, there should be a link inside a PDF that will take you to a site to complete a personality test. In this test, it will give you an idea on who you are at this moment, and it will enlighten you on certain characteristic traits, your purpose, your strengths, and your weaknesses to give you insight on where you should be in this current moment in time.